Next season's Battle Pass is going to be amazing. Along with Marvel skins, we will be introduced to a bunch of characters who works for the Lost Reality. I feel like Wanderer is going to be one of those characters, because if you remember, every now and then the Lost Reality sends a member to attack the Fortnite island, like the Cube Queen, Herald, Triarch Nox. Now to understand this, we have to go all the way back to chapter 1. I'm giving away a free skin to a lucky subscriber. All you have to do is subscribe. And if you want to help me out, use code SMJM and like this video. Very first time we saw a sign of the Lost Reality was when, literally out of the blue, a lightning bolt creates this giant purple cube. It seems pretty harmless at first until it starts moving. And at the end of the season, Kevin the Cube melts into the loot lake. And in chapter 2, season 6, we see a corrupted island float above the Fortnite island. This island goes around the map, corrupting literally everything from locations to different skins. In fact, this was the season where we got skins like the Dark Bomber, Dark Jonesy. But one thing we did not realize, that the island was creating something on the map. This shocked everyone. Kevin the Cube was creating on the island was a logo of the Lost Reality. Luckily, at the end of the season, the 0 point fought against Kevin the Cube and it exploded. To save us, we end up at this location called the In-Between. When we rift back, Kevin the Cube was gone. Now, the whole of chapter 1, we don't hear anything about the Lost Reality until we reach the Black Hole event. During the Black Hole event, the scientist gives us a cryptic message, and it reads out, "The nothing is inevitable." Everyone thinks that the nothing is in fact the head of the Lost Reality. When chapter 2 was here, Lost Reality's huge plan to take over the entire Fortnite begins. The reason why they have chosen chapter 2 season 6 to attack is because of the 0 point. They know that in chapter 5 season 5, the 0 point was exposed. As soon as they heard this news, they were on their way, and when they got here, they see the 0 point sealed by the Spire, and that was done by the Foundation to protect the 0 point. Whole of the primal season, we see people and animal getting abducted. At the end of chapter 2 season 6, we see a crop symbol that confirms that they are coming, because it was the logo of the Lost Reality. When season 7 was here, the Lost Reality's mothership shows up on the map. It goes right towards the Spire, but they do not find the 0 point. The 0 point is yet again hidden by the Imagine Order. The whole of that season, the Lost Reality abducts at various locations to find the 0 point. And Dr. Sloan, being very smart, tells the Lost Reality spy that the 0 point is hidden underneath the Imagine Order's headquarters. But Dr. Sloan hid bombs underneath the headquarters. Now all we had to do was go inside the mothership and detonate it. And that's exactly what we do during the finale event of season 7. We find the room where the bombs was hidden, and at this point, Dr. Sloan reveals to us that she has betrayed us and that there was no plan for us to escape once the bombs was detonated. And at that point, we discover a bunch of cubes inside of the mothership, confirming to us that Kevin the Cube was in fact the Lost Reality's technology. Then everything goes kaboom. Mothership explodes and all of the cubes hurled towards the Fortnite island. And in chapter 2 season 8 was one of the biggest seasons we've ever had, because this was the final season of chapter 2. A whole season just like the chapter 1, we see the cubes moving around the map. This time there were various different colors of cubes, like gold, purple, blue. They all moved towards the center of the island throughout the season. At the end of the season, we were introduced to this person called the Cube Queen. Turns out the Cube Queen was the person who controlled all of the cubes ever since that chapter 1 cube that showed up on the map. There is a huge battle between the Cube Queen, Imagine Order, and the 7 happen. At one point during this event, we witnessed the power of the lost reality. Cube Queen opens a portal in the sky. We find out that the mothership that was hovering over the chapter 2 map was not the mothership. This was in fact the mothership. The island is corrupted beyond repair, so the 7 flips the entire island. We are introduced to chapter 3. There is a huge battle between the 7 and the Imagined Order. One thing we have noticed about the lost reality is that they only attack when the island is very vulnerable. For example, in chapter 1, they attacked when there was a giant rift in the sky and a bunch of people from different realities was showing up on the island. In chapter 2, they attacked when 0 Point was exposed and people, again from different realities, showing up on the island. Now, yet again in chapter 3, there is a huge war, meaning everyone else is going to be distracted, and that's exactly what happens. The lost reality attacks again. This time, rather than sending something like a huge UFO, they send only one person, and this person was Herald. Herald, using the power of the reality tree and the 0 Point, she connects to all of the locations of the island using the roots. This was for a reason, because in chapter 3 season 4, the very first thing she does is attack the 7's headquarters. Once they've destroyed the main people that was controlling the island, she slowly starts corrupting the island using the roots that she used to connect different locations. And finally, at the end of chapter 3, she turns the whole of the Fortnite island into chrome and it explodes. Luckily, the 0 Point is still fine. It creates a brand new island. Here we are in chapter 4. Chapter 4 focuses on one person that we have not heard about ever since chapter 1, the Nothing. Like I mentioned before, there's a rumor that the Nothing is in fact the head of the lost reality. They tried to create this rift gate that was going to bring the Nothing to this island, but unfortunately it failed. End up getting Mega Mall and the Peace Syndicate. During this season, we hear about the lost reality yet again. Peace Syndicate reveals that Triarch Nox and bunch of other people sabotaged their plan and corrupted all of the information that they had on the lost reality. Just at that moment, we start to see this circular object heading towards the island. Now, we thought that was in fact that mothership that we saw during the live event, but it turns out this was Kato Thorn. Here we are in chapter 5, and ever since the Peace Syndicate mentioned about the lost reality, we have not seen them yet. In fact, Fortnite was planning to bring the lost reality during the chapter 4 live event. You can see this trailer, which was actually cancelled. Lost reality's mothership trying to kidnap the 0 Point, but it somehow manages to escape. This shows us that they plan to bring the lost reality in chapter 4, but I think because of OG Fortnite, they had to delay that plan. And now that we are here in chapter 5, which is basically a remix version of chapter 2 map, because if you think about it, we end up in OG Fortnite map, but that wasn't the OG Fortnite how we remembered. It was a remix version. That's why they did not have certain locations like Polar Peak. The main building from Tilted Towers was missing as well. Also, Battle Pass skins looked similar but different. And after the main Black Hole live event, we were supposed to go to chapter 2, but we went to a different version of chapter 2. That's why we saw different factions similar to chapter 2, and also Midas arrived on the island, just like how he did in chapter 2. Also, if you remember, in chapter 2, season 7 and 8 was themed around lost reality. And since we know that next season, season 4, is going to be our final season before chapter 6, I think Fortnite are going to mix 4, 5, 6, and 7 seasons of chapter 2 into one. On top of that, we know that season 4 Fortnitemaire update is going to take place. I think it makes a perfect sense to bring back the lost reality in season 4. So I think next season Battle Pass is going to be highly themed around the Marvel season, the lost reality, and we might see in a secret skin, possibly skin like a One Piece Luffy. Bunch of leaks are coming out as we speak, so I will keep you you guys updated, so please leave a like, subscribe, and use code SMJM.